Hello and welcome. My name is Jake and I'm joined by Charlie as we discuss the world of football with a focus on data. This is Football with the Faff.
So, welcome to our Transfer 11 episode. So, we're going to try and between us make an 11 of the transfers of the window. So, Jake, how are you feeling?
Feeling like we might kill each other by the end. I think it's an interesting one because there wasn't a ton of transfers. A lot of, a lot of people just trying to keep the books clean and whatnot. So some young players going for inflated prices. So I think it will be interesting to see the final team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. So what we're going to do, I'll just run you through the rules. So we're going to pick players position by position. So we're going to lock players in as we go. We can only have one player from each team. So it'll mean we'll use 11 teams and we will have a manager as well. We'll see what happens with the manager. Hopefully it's a like a 12 different team.
Yeah.
No promises. And as we go, we'll try and evaluate the options. So, shall we get kicking off with the goalkeeper?
Yeah. Okay. So, I think we should stress as well. We made these lists right at the end of the transfer window. So, some of these we hadn't seen play before we'd put them in. But I still feel in terms of new player, there should be some good shouts. So I've got three goalkeepers. I've got Ramsdale at Southampton, Kepa at Bournemouth, and Johnston at Wolves.
Yeah, I had those three options. I also chucked Aro Muric in there, but I thought that was always an ambitious one.
Yeah, he scares me.
Well, I think all three are quite safe as well because Kepa, I don't think we're going to have another Bournemouth player we're going to really want to fit in. I can't think. Ramsdale, same with Southampton. I haven't got too many Southampton players on my list. Same with Wolves with Johnston. So
Yeah.
I think all three fit that quite well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of them have started spectacularly, and that's not solely down to them. Their teams have not been firing. Southampton and Wolves are the epitome of that. Yeah, so I think Kepa's had some good games. He's had some poor moments as well. Similar with Ramsdale. I think Johnston was needed because seeing some of Sarr's goalkeeping recently was just atrocious. So I think they really did need him.
Yeah, I don't quite know what to think of Sam Johnston. He I think he did okay at Palace. I don't think he's that brilliant.
I don't either, but I was sort of viewing it from, is he a better shot stopper than Sarr? And I think right now he is. I think Sarr at one point was, but he's had quite a decline in my opinion.
Right. I think I'm gonna vote Ramsdale.
I was going to vote Ramsdale too.
All right.
Something for the Southampton fans to cheer about.
Should we lock in Aaron Ramsdale?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. So we're gonna kick it off with the goalkeeper, and we're gonna go with Aaron Ramsdale.
Yep.
So I think next we should move on to. I think we should be moving on to the fullbacks.
Yeah.
So, are we gonna? Should we start with left back? I always feel like left back is the logical place to start with this stuff. But yeah, right. So, my nominations for left back. I had Kadioglu at Brighton, Alex Moreno at Nottingham Forest, who I only just realised played for Nottingham Forest, which is probably a bad sign. Uh, and Ryan Sessegnon, again, not really started for Villa yet. And finally, again, someone that hasn't really found his way into a team. Sessegnon's not Villa, Fulham. And
Yeah.
someone that hasn't really found his way into the team, Ian Matson.
Yeah.
Have you got any others that I didn't name?
I've also got, and sorry if you did say him, but I've got Calafiori.
Oh, see, yeah, I had him in at right back. I wasn't
Oh,
quite
okay.
sure where to fit him.
I think I've seen him more at left back than anywhere else, which is why I've classed him as that. But I mean, maybe we can use him as a free defender.
Yeah, no, I mean, him and
if
Timber
needed.
seem to be able to play both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, of those, the one that's probably excited me the most so far this season, I think I'd go with the Brighton fullback, Kadioglu.
Yeah, Kadioglu.
But the
Yeah.
issue is we may want to fit another Brighton player in as we move up the pitch.
Yes, I've got another one in mind. So,
Mm.
this is tricky.
Arsenal, Calafiori could be a good shout. Do we have any other Arsenal players we want to fit in?
I've got one potential, but not that I'm hard on. Not that I'm. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay. All right. Do you want to nominate first, and I'll give you my vote as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go. This is the trouble. There wasn't a ton of left backs brought in, and there's certainly not been a ton of new left backs being used. So, for me, it's between Kadioglu and Calafiori, both similar names. I'm going to go with Calafiori.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. That was who I was going to go for as well. I just think there's a Brighton player I really want to fit in as we go further up the pitch.
I was thinking the same thing.
Alright, so...
Yeah, Calafiori, I think, started quite well. Oh, you've done it now.
Calafiori. How do we spell Calafiori? Just as a little bit of trivia.
I've probably done it wrong.
Calafiori.
Oh, I did it right.
I did it wrong. There we go.
Oh.
Right, so Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Calafiori at left back. Who are we going to go with at right back?
Ooh, this is another tough one. Well, I think they're all quite tough, really.
So my right back nominations, I'd just like to add in, were quite, I don't know. I think there's one obvious standout, and I want to see if you have the same.
Okay.
So I've got, Wan-Bissaka and Mazraoui. And I'm not comfortable having Mazraoui in there.
Okay.
So for me, my vote would be Wan-Bissaka. But the dilemma is, Kilman and Todibo, I think, are good shouts for centre-back. So I'm not quite sure where to land. And I guess Man United have De Ligt. That could be a centre-back. I'm torn. What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, I also had sort of both of which were outside bets, but are ones that by the end of the season maybe you could say, oh yeah, that was a good signing. In Ben Johnson for Ipswich and Archie Gray for Spurs. I don't think they are, what they can be yet, but I think maybe at the end of the season they might be seen as good signings.
Yeah, I like Archie Gray, but I'm not sure I could have him as a right back because I just don't think that's where he's going to end up playing.
Yeah, well, it's where he's pretty much only been playing for us for this season, so I don't feel like I could put him at centre mid.
Yeah. And Ben Johnson's kind of coming off the bench when they play back five.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick them, but that's just what I had before, and I think it's interesting just to see, how that shifts. Um,
I think if we go with Wan-Bissaka, that does limit the centre backs quite
mm,
considerably.
yeah, but you can only choose one of them anyway. So
No, I know.
it's
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna go with my nomination, and I'm gonna go Wan-Bissaka. Who are you gonna
yeah.
nominate?
I do think that Wan-Bissaka is better than Mazraoui, so I am happy to go there.
All right,
It's
let's put
just
Wan-Bissaka in.
it's a
Yeah,
problem. West Ham bought so many.
I do really like Mazraoui, but
mm,
he's only played a few games. He's obviously been in
yeah,
a really struggling team.
I
And I
thought
think
he's been decent. Like,
Wan-Bissaka's just come in and hit the ground running at West Ham. I
yeah,
think you just can't ignore it.
mm,
I'm sure maybe time will tell. Mazraoui looks a lot better on the ball than Wan-Bissaka did. But yeah, I think for me, I think Wan-Bissaka edges it at the moment.
okay, cool.
Right,
So
let's move on to the centre backs. Do you wanna go through your long list of centre backs and we will try and
well,
pick two?
I I've got 6, 2 of which we can't use because I I was trying to keep it somewhat, simple in that sense. I didn't want to just, get the list of all the centre backs. Um, but I'll go through them. So I had Greaves at Ipswich. I
He
had,
was on my list as well. Yeah.
okay. Milenkovic at Forest.
Mhm.
Anderson at Fulham. Kilman at West Ham. Delict at United. And Todibo at West Ham.
Yeah, I added into that Lacroix at
Oh, yep.
Palace, but obviously Palace have had a rough start to the season. I don't think
Mm.
he's shone, and Jake O'Brien, who hasn't really had a look at Everton this year.
Mm.
Hmm.
So obviously the West Ham boys are out.
Yeah, I do really like Jacob Greaves, I have to
Yeah.
say.
I thought first game of the season against Liverpool he was quite good.
I feel like Delict really should be in there.
Mm. I mean, he's had some poor performances recently, but
Just quality wise in
yeah.
general. I feel like he should be in there.
Mm.
Shall we lock him in?
Yeah.
Alright. We'll put in Delict and we will debate the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. He hasn't had the best start. Him and Martinez obviously dropped for Evans and Maguire at Villa. But there's no doubt he is a decent centre back.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got Delict in there and we've got one spare.
Yeah.
So the options are, realistically, I think we're looking between Greaves, Anderson and Milenkovic.
Yeah.
I do
I
really like Anderson, I have to say
I
as well. I'm really
I
struggling.
I do as well. I don't feel he's started at Fulham as well as he can. And I think Milenkovic has offered some positives for Forest. I think he's helped them a bit. Certainly do better at the start of the season than some people expected. But then Greaves as well. I think he's been impressive.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anderson has that kind of established quality. Greaves, I think, has come in and done really well for Ipswich so far, despite the results. And Milenkovic has been in a Forest team that have started the season really well. And he's sort of almost gone under the radar, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any clubs here that you want to potentially save?
That's a very good point. Ipswich did sign a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there are any I desperately would want.
I've got
I'm
one
not
in
sure.
mind, but that's not saying they have to be in.
Okay. Fulham, I did have one I think I'd want in, but I'm
Mhm.
not 100% sure, and it depends how the formation evolves, I guess.
That's very true. It's very
Um,
true.
Forest. I don't think I had anyone else in for Forest.
Mm.
Hmm.
I,
What
I
about you?
looking at what's coming up, I do actually have one of each.
Who do you? Any you think are
s-
most or least likely?
I think Fulham's most likely. I think it goes
Okay.
Fulham, Ipswich, Forest.
All right.
Um,
Well, of them, I actually think Milenkovic has had the best start to the season as well.
yeah,
Shall
yeah,
we? I'm going to nominate him.
yeah. I'll do the same then.
All right. Let's put him in. So, do you want to read out the back four?
Okay. Well, I'll do the back five. I do like the defence is as one. So in goal we've got Ramsdale. At left back we have Calafiori. Then the two centre backs are Milenkovic and Delict. And then at right back we have Wan-Bissaka.
So we move on to midfield. Here's where the discussion happens. So I think we need to decide if we want a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-1-1 or whatever you want to call it, or a 4-4-2. I think
Mhm.
we need to make that decision.
So I've kind of done it in mind of like a 4-3-3.
Okay, yeah,
But
that can
I
work.
I don't mind switching it around. I mean, I guess in a way it matters on the strikers. Um, if we had two strikers that we, if there was one striker that's like, oh, that's better than that midfielder, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, well, seeing as we've both got holding midfielders on that list, let's kick it off with a holding midfielder, and we'll
Okay,
evolve from there. So,
okay.
do you want to go through your holding midfielders?
Yeah, I did do sort of central midfielders as a block. Um, so I had, yeah, so I didn't have many because I just sort of bunged them together. Um, I had Onana for Villa. Uh, he can be holding, but he can get forward a lot too. So you know, and I also had Ugarte from your boys, but obviously he has not played a lot.
Hmm. Okay, I also had Wood Prowse from Forest, which obviously
Yeah.
is gone. My slightly out there ones, I don't think Matt O'Reilly can really be suggested, seeing as he has been injured for most of the start of the season, and he's not really a holding midfielder. Marino from Arsenal, we obviously can't consider. My only other one was Gundogan.
Does that count? Because I think we said not to have players that have
Ex-
previously been there.
yeah, and it
So
feels a little bit
I
wrong.
I
So
I initially would say yes, but yeah, with that rule, which I do like.
it just
Yeah.
feels a little bit unjust, doesn't it?
Mm.
So I'm very happy to go with Anana. I think he is the obvious
Mm.
standout in
Yeah,
holding midfield.
I think Onana needs to be in there. Obviously, Agarte's barely played, so and when he has, not seen a ton from him. So yeah,
All right, let's put Amadou Anana in there.
okay.
Right. Uh,
Sure, it's not Andre.
right. So now, why don't we go through the rest of the midfield? So
Okay.
some of my suggestions. I'm quite limited on midfield. I have to be honest.
Yeah. Go on, let's see what you
I
got though.
had Carvalho from Brentford, who's just gone to Brentford. I think's a really
Yeah.
good player. But yeah, still not 100% sure. I've got Emil Smith Rowe, who I had as my
Mm-hmm.
number 10, which
Yeah.
I quite liked as a shout.
Yep.
I had the young lad from Everton who's sort of found his way out of the team, so maybe I'll remove that. And yeah, of the players, lots of them are kind of out of the reckoning now
Mm.
that we've taken those clubs out. So my only obvious one was Smith Rowe, and I'm still not really sure what you'd count him as.
I,
So
I
yeah,
yeah, I'd say count him as a sort of 10, but
mm.
yeah, and he was my obvious one as well. Um, he might
Who
need to
else
pull
have you
one out
got
of a
in there?
hat. I think I had the same Everton player as you, who, yeah, started and thought, oh, hello. But, well, it's weird though, because Everton have started picking up points now. um, I think we can put Smith Rowe in comfortably, but it's just who else?
All right. Well, let's nominate. Oh, if we're gonna have another holding midfielder though, Smith Rowe has to go after that.
Mm.
All right. Let's give it a quick think. So if we're gonna have three central midfielders,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is horrible.
Um,
Dewsbury Hall at Leicester hasn't
Chelsea,
really
do you
had
mean?
a look. Oh my god, from Leicester
Yeah.
hasn't really
Skip?
had a look
What
in
about Skip?
the Premier League. Yeah, again, not really had an
What do
opportunity.
you mean? It's been great.
God, this is really hard. Yeah, O'Reilly at Brighton unfortunately got injured very early. They've got
Oh,
Matt Weaver at Brighton.
that's
as
what I was
well.
just going to say. He
Yeah.
seemed to play quite well against Spurs, although, yeah. Well,
Who doesn't? Yeah.
not in the first half, but, you know, it's only one half that matters.
This is not easy.
God. Oh, unless, well, yeah.
Yeah, Mangala at Everton. He's a holding midfielder. Smodics at Ipswich. Callum Phillips. God, this is really hard. Yeah, we don't want Gundogan in there.
You got Barkley at Villa.
Yeah, but we've just put Anana in there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Is there anyone we can play out of position that can kind of sit in there? Obviously, yeah, Archie Gray is one you could consider, but I don't think it's one we will.
Bergvall.
Andre at Wolves. All right. What are we gonna go with?
I don't know. I feel like there's not really been any huge players in that position, like coming in.
No. Okay.
Kamada at Palace. See another option.
There was a Brighton player I really wanted to put in there. That's the issue. That we might have to leave out if we go with a... Okay, should we do that? Should we go Wiffer and Smith Rowe?
I mean, if we can't think of anyone else, but I'm in the same position as you. Like,
we've got to fill out the midfield first. That is the rule.
I think Onana can just hold the defensive side of the midfield and just stick Smith Rowe there. Oh God.
I guess we could play him.
You can do a 4-4-2,
Yeah.
or a 4-2-4, or what's that? A 4-1-3-2. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we can. Yeah, this isn't necessarily a team that will do well. It's a team that is banded together.
Oh, all right. Let's go with Smith Rowe, and we'll
Okay.
pick the wingers.
Yeah.
And if not, we can ask Smith Rowe to do a little bit more defending.
Yeah.
It'll be good for him. Learning curve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He gets paid enough.
All right. So we've got Onana and Smith Rowe in our centre of midfield. Right. Let's move on to the wingers. So I think we both have someone we want to nominate
Do we?
that we both quite like.
Do you want to go right wing first then?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start it off, and I'm gonna go with Minter.
Oh wow! You'll never believe this. I quite like him too.
All right, shall we lock that one in?
Yeah.
Right, Minter. Dun, dun, dun. And there he is. Oh. Oh, I'm struggling to lock him in.
He's refusing. He's saying,
there
"I'm
he
not
is.
playing in a team with only 2 in midfield." What do you mean?
Right, so we've got Minter. Who are we going to go on the left?
The left. I've sort of 3 that are in with a shout. 2 of which are from the same club. So mine in with a shout, I think, are Sterling at Arsenal, and then Felix. João Felix I've said as a left winger, but obviously he plays sort of all across there, and then Sancho, who I think for me is probably the strongest.
I have Savinho, who I think has played on the right.
Yeah, I had him as a right winger, but I mean,
But we could always move Minter to the left.
Yeah.
Minter has played on the left. Let me have a look at Savinho.
I don't think Savinho has, because it's usually like Doku or Grealish or someone, isn't it?
Let's just have a look. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Savinho potentially, Sancho. I'll just throw an extra few names in there. I've got Kamada, who can play on the wing, Ismail Assar, Philogene,
Yeah.
all of which have been suggested. Oh no, Minter hasn't played on the left for Brighton, so it seems a little bit.
Leave him on the right.
Okay, as much as it pains me to say it, I think I'd go with Sancho.
I would too.
Right, shall we put Jadon Sancho in there?
Yeah, go on.
All right.
Okay.
God,
Just
asking
checking
him
that
to
we
do some
haven't-
defending is a big ask.
It's fine, Minter will do it.
So we have in a midfield we've got Onana, Sancho, Smith Rowe, and Minter, all of which are from different clubs. Yes.
Nice little diamond
Yep.
we've got.
2 wingers that play high and wide. Yeah. So that leaves us with 2 strikers by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So who are we going to go with?
Well, I can give you 3 options, and you're welcome to add. So I've got Nketiah at Palace, Solanke at Spurs, and Delap at Ipswich.
Yeah, I had all of those. I also had a few, obviously, from the clubs that we've taken off. I also had Buonanotte that I thought we could add to the midfield if we're struggling from Leicester. But
Yeah.
from those, I think you've got some good suggestions. I'm very happy to put Solanke in straight away.
Get in there.
Let's go with that. So Solanke
Finally, a
is definitely
Spurs
going to be
player.
in there. Dominic Solanke. There he is. So that leaves us with one more option. And the question is, do we go with a winger or a number 10-y kind of player, which I don't think there are many of, or we go with a conventional centre forward? And I think that leaves us with... also, one you didn't mention I thought was Evanilson from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'd be going with Liam Delap.
I would too. I think he's performed well above where I think anyone expected him to. Probably even himself. But yeah, he's really helped Ipswich a lot, you think, against Villa, grabbing those 2 goals. They're hard-fought goals as well. So yeah, I've been very impressed by him.
All right, well, let's chuck him in, I think. He's the obvious one. So that completes our team, but we do need a manager.
We do.
So we'll just quickly run through the team first. So we've got Ramsdale in goal, a back 4 of Calafiori, Milenkovic, De Ligt and Wan-Bissaka. A midfield 4 of Sancho, Onana, Smith Rowe and Minter, with Delap and Solanke up front. So there we go. Who is going to manage this lot? So of the new managers as well.
Yeah, so the new managers are Slot at Liverpool, Lopetegui at West Ham, Maresca at Chelsea, Herzl at Brighton and Cooper at Leicester. Now,
so we
obviously,
can rule out Brighton and Chelsea.
And Lopetegui, West Ham.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So it's between Slot and Cooper. Who do you think should win this? Well, actually, you're going to be biased here.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the only option is Arne Slot.
Yeah.
I do think, just to add to all of that, I do think Steve Cooper gets a bit of stick.
Yeah. But I think
is unwarranted.
Yeah. I think in this comparison, though, yeah, unfortunately for him, there's not much of a fight.
So we're going to go with Arne Slot.
Yep.
But yeah, so that concludes our team. So the only other thing is for us to pick a captain.
Ooh. I've noticed that you've put the captaincy on De Ligt.
It was just I couldn't bear to see it on Ramsdale.
Well, that's fair enough. Okay,
Who do
so
you reckon?
for captaincy, I'd say no to Ramsdale, Solanke, Delap, Sancho, Minter, Smith Rowe. I'd say that Wan-Bissaka could have it, De Ligt, Milenkovic. Calafiori, could he have it? Not as sure. Onana, maybe?
I think it's between Onana and the centre-backs, personally. And I'm happy with any of the 3. I'll let you choose this one.
I'll go for this one because he's certainly, I think, started the best out of them all, and that's out of those 3, and that's Onana. I think he went to Villa, and it's almost like he's been there for years. You know, he's fitted in really well, and it'll be interesting to see how they go in the Champions League moving forward.
All right. Well, we will add in Onana, and that will leave us.
Tear rolls down your face as you have to say goodbye to Lictor's captain.
And that is our transfer 11. So
Ooh.
just to reiterate, just to read it out again, Aaron Ramsdale in goal. A back four of Calafiori, Milenkovic, De Ligt and Wan-Bissaka. Nice and defensive, so that the midfield can bomb on a little bit. Midfield of Sancho, Onana, Smith Rowe and Minter. And a strike partnership of Liam Delap and Dominic Solanke.
Yep.
Our manager of the team is Arne Slot, and our captain is Amadou Onana.
Yeah, I quite like that team.
I think we've done quite well.
Yeah, as we said at the start, not a ton of transfers, not maybe as fruity as Parsh is.
It's fruity. I have to say, I'm all for the FA picking the right person. I quite like Lee Carsley. He's got some progressive ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Tuchel does not excite me in any way, shape or form. I know he's a good manager. I wouldn't want him at Man United.
No.
I find international football hard enough to watch on its own. It doesn't excite me, I have to be honest.
Mm.
But we're at a point where we're that ungrateful, which is a good thing, because we expect the best.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
On the top we have Man United, Brighton and Argentina. And on the side we have Leicester, Sunderland and Serie A. Now these might be a little bit of an opportunity for us to be a little bit more out there this time, I think. There are some that I think we might, especially Man United for me. But again, not quite sure. We'll see what happens. So, Jake, do you want to kick us off?
I don't have anyone out there per se, but I can go with Leicester and Man United, and I can go Johnny Evans.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You can go with Leicester and Man United. And
Sorry,
go
did I
with
cut out? Johnny Evans. Yeah.
Ooh.
Am I
Maybe,
okay?
I think my Wi-Fi's going a little bit nuts. Right, I hear you now.
Okay. Johnny Evans.
All right, let's lock in Johnny Evans.
Your silence was disturbing. I was very concerned. I was like, I swear he did. That was 29%. Let's just get him one locked in.
Right, I'm going to move down that column. I'm going to go with Man United and Sunderland, and I'm going to go with a goalkeeper that never played for Man United. he was part of the club. He was an under-21s player.
I think
Signed
he
from
needs to have
Southend.
played a senior game.
Yeah, that seems an unnecessary risk to take, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can take one for that. That's yeah, I can think of a player.
I'm trying to think of someone a little bit more out there. Yeah, well, my goalkeeper, I had Nathan Bishop, but
Right.
I'm not sure he ever played a senior game for Man United that I can remember. He certainly played on the pre-season tour. Yeah, okay. If that's the case, I think I'm going to go with Darren Gibson.
Oh, okay.
Who was your player that you had in mind?
Wes Brown.
Oh, good one. Oh, Darren Gibson doesn't seem to exist on mine. Oh, I've spelled it wrong. That's why. Darren Gibson, Darron.
Oh, that's where I went wrong as well.
Alright. Shall we finish off the column, or do you want to go somewhere else?
I'll finish off the column. I will go with Chrissy Smalling.
Oh, yeah. For Man United and Serie A, Chris Smalling, obviously of Roma.
Well,
now in
he's now in
Saudi, I
Saudi.
believe.
Yeah.
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 Not
Living it
someone I
big.
would have. Not someone I would have expected to jump on the Saudi bandwagon, if I'm honest.
No. Well, I guess he wasn't getting called up for England, was he? So if you're not going to live in England, might as well make money.
All right. Shall we move on to Leicester and Brighton? Should we try and keep this one going, or did you have somewhere
Sure.
else in mind that you wanted to try and fill in?
We can keep going. Yeah.
Right, Leicester and Brighton. I've got one, but it is. Is it my turn? It is my
Yeah,
turn.
it is. Yeah. I was going to say.
I'm 99% sure he played for Brighton. I'm going to go with Leonardo Ulloa. Who did? Yes.
He did. Can't remember him playing for Brighton.
Yeah, part of I think he was part of the team that got Brighton promoted to the Premier League.
Oh.
As far as I remember. Yeah.
God.
And a top player for Leicester, obviously, as well.
Brighton and Sunderland.
I actually have an answer for that.
Do you?
Yeah. I'll give you a clue. Have you watched the Sunderland Till I Die documentary?
I've seen parts of it, but not
Okay,
properly.
maybe not. He very much surprised me that he was a Sunderland player. But yeah.
I think I
Okay.
might have to break away.
All right, yeah. Fill in another one.
I can go
If
with
you can
Leicester.
go one down.
Oh.
If you go to
Brighton and Serie A. Who have they got from the Serie A? Or who have they sold to the Serie A?
All right, no, go wherever you want.
Okay. I'll go with Leicester and Argentina. And I'll go with Buonanotte,
Yeah,
who
I think
I'm
that sounds
certain
right, doesn't it?
is Argentinian. He's certainly
Yeah, he
South
must be.
American.
Buon
I just got to work out to spell his name.
Facundo
What'd you call me?
Buonanotte. Yes, he is indeed Argentinian.
I don't even know how you spell that.
Right, Syria is Italy. Okay, well, I'm going to fill in that next one for Brighton anyways. Brighton and Sunderland, and I'm going to go with Jason Steele, the goalkeeper, who I believe replaced Lee Camp in the documentary. Well, not documentary, in real life. But I think Lee Camp got dropped for Jason Steele, who did not do very well at Sunderland, to say the least. Yeah, pretty sure he was part of the team that saw him get relegated to League One. But yeah, all right, I'll let you carry on.
Oh, it's getting a bit difficult. Come on, Brighton, Serie A. They haven't had a lot of Italian players off the top of my head.
Oh, I can tell you one. Think of someone that's left Brighton for the Serie A. That'll help you.
Brighton? Well, I
Very,
mean, yeah, that
very
would,
recently.
very, very recently. Who have they lost recently? Oh, come on, brain. I need you.
2 players went to this same club in Italy from the Premier League. 2 players that share a nationality.
Oh, Billy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking Brighton and Serie A, and obviously the other way round. It didn't occur to me that someone might have left Brighton for the Serie A.
Yeah. 42%, so not many for that.
Right. I'm going to take the cop out because I can't think of an Argentinian that's played for Sunderland.
Oh, I can.
Can you?
No, I can't. No. Similar to Sunderland, but not. No. Forget me.
Right. I'm going to take the cop out and go Argentinian, Syria, and I'm going to go Paulo Dybala.
Oh, wow, how'd you get that? He should have been at
Apparently I can't
Spurs.
spell his name.
What?
That's
how you spell it.
Paulo
Yeah.
D.
Does he not exist?
He's not there.
Has he been done for like drugs or something? Although they have Pogba.
All right.
So,
Well, in that case, I'll go Higuain.
Higuain.
He's definitely there.
Gonzalo.
Right. Argentina and Sunderland. There has to be someone.
Yeah, I thought of Gazaniga, but he played for Southampton. I just remember the shirts.
Don't think Martinez played for Sunderland, did he?
No, I'm aware of.
No. Mascherano was West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh, this is horrible. I can't think of anyone.
I've narrowed it down to a striker, midfielder, defender, or goalkeeper. every time I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's this position. I'm just like, oh, well, what about this one?
Manquillo was Spanish, wasn't he?
I think we might have to call it, mate.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to give up, aren't we?
Never give up on a good thing.
All right, well, let's leave it there. So there are 3 correct answers for Sunderland and Argentina.
Oh, there was only one for Leicester and Argentina.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know that.
Well, there you go. And they are players I have never heard of.
There we go.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I do feel like that sometimes, you know. It's just a case of we're not going to know. I mean, it's over 30 years worth of players now, so.
No, yeah. Yeah, 5 players, all of which I have to admit I've never heard of. 1 player that played more than 50 games, and he played between 2000 and 2005. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we did pretty well.
I was thinking of Virginie.
Virginie?
He was the centre back, wasn't he? He scored that outrageous own goal.
He
was. Oh, do you remember that? There was like a cross came in, and he was on the edge of the box with his right foot just on the half volley, perfectly into the bottom corner of his own net.
I don't think I remember that.
I can't find this. Virginia. I was literally thinking of. Oh God, I'm so annoyed. Oh, I couldn't remember his name. I was literally saying Verge though. I knew Virginia. Yeah, let me. I couldn't remember his full name. I was just like Verge, and then I thought it was like Italian or something. I just didn't think. Oh. The others I would have never got, but him, I could picture it.
I wouldn't have got him. I'm impressed you got so close.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think that's the first time we've ever got one where there was only one player to choose from in Leicester and Argentina. Buonanotte. Yeah. Didn't know it was their first Argentinian.
Yeah, I think we did well in that. No, neither did I. But it Leicester, are you sure?
Well, on the thing it says he's only one, but it says 19%, so...
Yeah, because below it is the player I was thinking of, which was Esteban Cambiasso.
Ah.
That was the player I was going to say, and then I...
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
There are 3 Argentinians to have played for Leicester. And they are Buonanotte, Cambiasso, and Leonardo Ulloa. Ulloa, which we used for Leicester and Brighton.
I didn't know Ulloa was Argentinian. Don't know anything about Ulloa.
I didn't even think of that. I did know he was Argentinian.
Well, I knew Buonanotte, so I was like, I'm happy to use him.
And there weren't that many players that had played for Sunderland and Brighton. My Jason Steele shout turned out to be quite good. The only other kind of players of note that I think you'd remember are Darren Bent. I don't think we'd remember Welbeck at Sunderland. I barely do.
No.
Yeah, and quite a few players before our time. Aaron Connolly, who I think has just left Hull for Sunderland, I believe.
Oh, I'm still so annoyed about Virginie. I'm happy he scored that goal.
Yeah, the numbers are definitely wrong because there are 25 players to have played for Man United and Sunderland.
Oh.
And it says
Well,
11
okay.
on my screen.
We'll still take sponsorship though.
Yeah, it's still a fantastic website. Immaculate Footy.
It's unlucky. These players keep switching clubs. You can't keep track of them. Oh.
Yeah, we do love this website.
Yeah, it is really good, to be fair. Right. Well, thank you for another good week. Getting past this grueling international break and back to some proper football at the weekend. Thank you for joining us. A like and a follow is greatly appreciated. And don't forget, you can rate if you're listening on Spotify. This has been Football with the Faff. Goodbye.